Football stinks. Anthony's one of the league's best players. Scott McTominay's got murals of him. Football's lads.
Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is Off the Bar. I'm joined by Adam McKola and Jay Motti. I'm Joe as well. Adam, how are you? Good to see you. Nice to have you on during this little lull between the two transfer windows.
A little lull.
What do you make of all that? It closes on the 10th, reopens again in a bit.
No one cares, innit? Just pretend it's open.
Yeah, Club World Cuppy. Jay, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
You're looking good.
Thank you. So are you?
Thanks very much. Today we're going to be looking at the transfer window so far because we've got this little break. Although, like you said, Adam, stuff's still happening. We're getting here. We go as we're filming.
You know what's
this.
disappeared?
What?
Well, not disappeared. People just don't care about it anymore. No one's grassing for tapping up anymore.
No, that's just allowed now.
It's a thing
isn't
of the past, isn't it?
Yeah, you can agree deals with players, with teams, everything.
The last one really was Van Dijk, wasn't it? Southampton had an issue with Liverpool about that.
Yeah.
But then it kind of went away.
That was ages ago as well, wasn't it?
Never seen it.
Has it not been on one since then?
Not high profile.
Gone are the days of tapping up.
We're going to be going through all of the top teams in the Premier League, and we're including ourselves in that. And we're going to be ranking and saying who's had the best window so far. That's what we're going to do. Simple stuff, isn't it? I'll get your thoughts in the comments as well. Let's start with Manchester United. Just go through who we've bought, and we'll go through all the teams. And then we can start having a chat. Are we doing it like that? Okay. And then we'll give each one a rank, and then we'll say who's had the best window.
Yeah.
Right. Man United in so far. We'll say Diego Leon, but really we signed him in January, but he's arriving in the summer. Matheus Cunha done, 62.5 million. We're going to put Mbeumo and the links. It seems so advanced that it's not official, obviously, but it looks like that deal's going to get done. And then there's been some other links with Gyökeres and Osimhen, etc. But they are far below the Mbeumo, Cunha, and obviously Diego Leon deals. Out so far, Johnny Evans, Christian Eriksen, and Lindelof have all left. And then there seems to be an interest in getting rid of Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho. But again, they're much further behind in terms of how advanced these are. As it stands right now, Jay, as it stands in terms of how this window is shaping up, let's assume the Mbeumo deal happens. How are you ranking this? How are you happy, or how happy are you with the first, the 12th of June, 12 days of the window so far?
I mean, obviously getting Cunha done on the 1st of June was a massive plus. If we get Mbeumo, that'd be a great signing. My main concern, one of the big concerns of United is we need to move on some of these players because, listen, we all love Marcus Rashford, but he doesn't look like he's got a future at the club. Jadon Sancho doesn't look like he's got a future at the club. Anthony hasn't either. They need to get moved on, and we're in this sort of grey area where we don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't look like Rashford's going to go back to Villa. It doesn't look like, we know Sancho's not going to go back to Chelsea. Even Anthony Real Betis, they're talking about another loan move. Yeah. You can't just have all these players coming back, the manager not wanting them not wanting to be here, and just collecting a massive paycheck every week. We need to move them on, so that's a big sort of issue that United needs to address, especially when all the noises are, Laurie said it the other day on Inside United, and we've heard it from others as well, that if United do want to go past the Mbeumo signing, we need to sell some players. If we want to get an Osimhen or a Gyökeres, we're not doing that unless we move on Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, and probably a Garnacho as well.
Have we ever had it before where we've got players like Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, and Anthony? I know some of them were academy players, but they are four of the most high-profile Manchester United players, either in terms of wages or fees or just appearances over the last couple of seasons. Have we ever had it where they've all essentially been sort of exiled for off-the-pitch stuff? And Anthony less so, but, has that ever happened before? Well, I know Fergie's fallen out with Roy Keane or Beckham or whatever individually, Van Nistelrooy. I don't ever remember a time where a new manager, and you could include Ten Hag in the Sancho stuff, over an 18-month period has basically gone, whatever you're doing off the pitch is not happening anymore, and you. Have we ever done this before?
Fergie's early days, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Eventually, Mourinho had fell out with everyone almost. But
yeah.
I don't think he didn't sort of come in and go, other than maybe Schweinsteiger, he didn't come in and go, right, you're not good enough, I don't want you. No. It's
a mad situation.
Yeah, I can't recall anything like that. I know we've had summers where we've got rid of a load of players, obviously 95 where Hughes, Kanchelskis and Inso left, but it wasn't a case of they'd done stuff off the pitch and Fergie fell out of them all. No. So I can't recall a situation like this before now.
What do you make of the window so far, Adam?
I kind of like the direction we're heading in. Again, I'm gone beyond like, I want this guy, I want that guy. I kind of just want us to make our signings and then I'll judge them on what they do on the pitch. I'm trying to not get carried away with myself and excited about players signing for United anymore. But I do like, obviously, we're getting in Matheus Cunha, bringing in Mbeumo. We seem to be trying to do those deals regardless of what's going on with outgoings, which seems to be a sensible perspective. If you can get those 2 players done, plus a striker, and then you go, right, now we've got to get... Because that's what it seems to be from the outside looking in, that we can do those 3 deals before we have to start thinking about exits, right? And then you can move some players on, like we've said, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, etc. You've even then got like fees that you could get in for Anthony Elanga if he moves on from Nottingham Forest. I think Alvaro Fernandez could potentially be moving on as well.
Mason Greenwood's another one.
Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
You've got the 5 million from the Sancho kind of deal already, and then you look at, I think, the Florian Wirtz deal. Once that gets done, Ten Hag seemingly is interested in Anthony Garnacho as well. Could potentially be on the way in. So there's a lot of move and a lot of like dominoes you're waiting to fall before other moves fall into place. But I'm happy with us kind of going, and coming out of the blocks so early with those signings as well. It shows you that they've had a plan. They've been kind of, having talks behind the scenes as well, which is important. And I do feel like this summer will be a good one in terms of getting players out, getting fees in for them, and various different things like that.
That's the main thing. I think I agree with you, Jay. Obviously, I say it's the main thing. If we hadn't signed Cunha and we hadn't, convinced Mbeumo to join, I would be saying we need players in.
Yeah.
But I think if those 2 players are happening, just being able to get rid of Rashford on whatever 300 plus grand, Sancho on 250 plus, Anthony maybe a little bit less, but again a lot. Garnacho, who is going to command a big transfer fee, even though he's on less wages. The ability to sell players like that is something that we've always struggled with.
Yeah.
I think there was a point where I think the reporting slightly changed on it now in terms of what % we will get of Alvaro Fernandez. But there was suggestions at one point that Madrid were going to spend like 60 million euros on him or 50 million euros, and that we would get 50% of that. And I remember looking, that would be our 9th best ever sale.
Jesus,
would be what we got for David Beckham.
Yeah, and
that's
I think actually
insane,
it's more like,
that's mental.
I think it's more like 30%, and actually they're probably not going to spend 60. But I remember thinking at the time, that's like, we don't sell players for big money ever. It's terrible how bad we are at it. Like those 30s and 40s, we never get there with players. So being able to get that for Rashford and Anthony and Sancho, hopefully somewhere in that ballpark.
And then you've also got the likes of Malacia to leave as well. I think that one kind of will happen. And I think we've also quietly been very good at reducing our wage bill over the years. Like our wage bill, because kind of reportings on wage bills are like a year late, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're always like a year behind. So our wages always seem higher than they actually are right now. And our wages have dropped massively, especially if you consider, let's say Rashford, Sancho, Anthony will go. That's a big chunk. Then you've got Lindelof, Eriksen, Evans that have left. I know Evans' contract wouldn't have been huge, but there's a lot of players there that are just leaving or gone.
Yeah.
And then I think if that all happened, I think Casemiro and Bruno would be the highest paid players, right?
Yeah.
Like the only real crazy, like, because people are talking about Cunha's wages and Mbeumo's wages. Like, if we sign them on new, they're going to be on like what, 160?
I think they're.
And Mbeumo's on like 45k a week.
Yeah, I think they're both going to be either with Cunha's case already, but they're talking under 200k each. Which is in
still a lot of money,
but not. We were giving out 250, 300 quite readily before.
Big, and it's their big move, and the obviously United wanted him. And if you're paying 60 million quid for a player to come to Manchester United, I don't think them being on like 180k a week is ridiculous.
No,
that's about right.
How would you rank? Sorry.
No, I just think I think sometimes too much is made, especially in the tabloids, of United's wages.
How would you rank United's transfer window so far?
So what are we giving it?
A, B, C, whatever.
I think so far, because as we're talking now, as we're recording, we've made one signing, which is a good signing. I'd probably go B-.
B-?
Yeah, I mean, if Mbeumo had happened, I'd probably up that to a B, but it hasn't yet.
Yeah.
It's just seeing it. We're doing what we have to do.
Yeah.
You got to remember, we're in a messed up situation, and we kind of need this start.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We have to come out the blocks quick.
So what are you saying?
It's C. Like, we're doing what we have to do.
I'd go a bit stronger. I'd go a bit more complimentary than that. I think the Mbeumo deal will get done.
Yeah.
But I think getting Cunha done so early, I think I would go B+.
Okay. I mean,
and we're only 12 days in, aren't we?
That's I mean, if this was like the middle of July and we only had Matheus Cunha, I'd be panicking.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to Arsenal then. So far, I don't think it's been announced by the clubs, but they've had a here we go for Zubimendi. That deal seems pretty much done. I know there's been some back and forth on that, but I'm pretty sure that's done. Kepa joining from Chelsea for 5 million. Arrizabalaga. And then we've got Sesko and Gyökeres both linked as well. Sesko more heavily than Gyökeres. They're not that far forward with either of them by the sound of things. On the outs, Kieran Tierney's gone to Celtic on a free. Jorginho's left. Nuno Tavares and Marquinhos, 2 players that don't really play much anyway, have both gone. What do you make of their window so far? Because they are desperate for a striker and they haven't got one yet.
Yeah, I think the Sesko links, there seems to be something in that. That's a doable deal as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, they can definitely get him, and they should have money to get him as well.
We're talking like 80, 90 million though,
it's a lot of money,
yeah.
But if you're going to buy a striker who's going to lead the line for you in a title challenge, because that's what they're expecting next season, then you're going to spend big money on him. And Benjamin Sesko is one of those names that everyone knows, and rightly so. I get it. I think so far it's been a solid start for them, hasn't it? I think they've still got a long way to go. They need to get that striker once the Sesko deal is over the line, because I think the big advantage for Arsenal is it's obvious where their issue is.
Yeah,
like they've had a pretty good run of it, haven't they? They've had like 2 or 3 seasons, 3 seasons where they've been there or thereabouts. I know they haven't really pushed quite to the sort of end of the season, whatever, in the title challenge. But without them, there wouldn't have been any title races over the last 3 years. So it's obvious what they need to do. They get a striker in, that's kind of their problem fixed. So yeah, they just need to do it. And obviously Zubimendi's a good signing too.
I think Martinelli's a problem as well for him.
They are.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough at all. Whenever I watch him play, I just think there's so many wingers in Europe that can do what he does.
He's not always in the team as well, is it? Is it Trossard? For Rashford? I think Rashford's better than Martinelli all day long.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was there, I'd move everything to sign Marcus Rashford.
I think if you played Martinelli and you played Marcus Rashford in the season, Rashford would get you more goals or assists.
The thing is, though, he don't press and move like Martinelli does off the ball. That's the only problem. But I agree that he's a far better player.
Martinelli's mad frustrating. Isn't
what do you make of it with Arsenal so far? A bit slower. Zubimendi, obviously, he's one of those names that was massive during the Euros. Like a lot of that Spain team, everyone was obsessed with him. We played against him in the Europa. I thought he was bang average.
He didn't play in one of the games, though, did he?
No, he only played in one leg. He was bang average again. One game doesn't define who he is, but they've spent a good chunk of money on him, 50 million.
Yeah, not us. I just find it funny that they're buying Kepa. Like, he kind of did this with Kai Havertz. Like, oh, Chelsea ruined you, but I'll save you.
We'll fix you.
Surely he's got to be their backup keeper.
He's 5 million. He's going to be backup.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, who gives a shit?
The Sesko one's interesting because I don't know what it is, but I'm not sold on Gyökeres.
You're not either.
I don't know if it's a gut. And then you're seeing all this nonsense about his fee, and it's going to, we've got an agreement for this, and now the club have gone back, and it all stinks. Just steer clear. And I think, like, Sesko's a big risk in it, but you're paying a lot less in terms of wages, a lot less of a transfer fee. I'd rather probably risk it on Sesko than Gyökeres.
If you didn't, just quickly.
I think aren't they talking about more for Sesko?
Yeah.
I think they're talking 80 or 90 million for Sesko.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was half the price.
No. God,
he's
no.
more than
mate, what the fuck you doing?
Just on the Gyökeres thing. If United didn't get him, who would you prefer?
I want Osimhen, I've said it.
Right, fair enough. No, I was just curious.
He's primed and ready.
There was talk this morning of us trying to make that happen, but I think it was nonsense.
Look, I might be. If we get Gyökeres, I'm happy to be proven wrong, and I hope I am wrong. But
to be fair, you've been like that for.
What is it you don't like?
Months.
What's going through your mind right now?
One is just pure gut.
Yeah.
My gut's going, this stinks.
Yeah.
It's like, could cost us between 80 to 100 million now.
Yeah. Well, let's say it's 70 million pounds.
That seems to be
about 80 million euros.
And then you got the whole. Ten Hag wanted Anthony, so we went and got him, and now Ruben Amorim wants him, so now we're going to go. It's just that part of it bothers me. I was watching some of his goals. Yeah, some of his goals are fantastic, by the way. But then I was watching others, and I'm like, keepers have a stinker. Defenses don't do that in the Premier League. Like, I just start thinking, really, are his 60 goals or whatever he scored? Is it 10? Do you know what I mean? Like,
has he scored 10
it 10
proper goals?
Is it 10? Also, he was in England.
Yeah, he did well.
Did he?
Well, he got 20 plus goals for Coventry.
Well,
yeah.
he swanned off to fucking Sporting, and I couldn't have told you. No one was asked. No one cared.
No, fair enough.
Something's just.
I know what you mean, but also if instead of playing for Coventry, he'd have been playing for a team in like
Man United, who drew 3-3 with Coventry.
yeah, instead of playing for them, if he'd have been playing for a team in the Swedish second division or the Italian second division,
Look, I know.
would you look at it differently?
Theoretically, his numbers keep improving.
Yeah,
He's had gradual, like, progression throughout. You know, he's done well in England already in the Championship, which is a difficult league. Then he's done well in Sporting. His numbers in Champions League, Europa League are generally good. All those things make sense, and they all go, sign him, he's ready. But then someone down here goes,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
I think everyone has that feeling with him
Stinks.
to a certain. Everyone has that with him to a certain degree because he's not big enough to be pushing people around the way he does.
But then we could do 12 bottles of bleach, please.
Yeah, that's true.
That's class.
Something like that. No one's going to do that though, are they?
What?
I'm not doing that.
All right.
Would you do that?
12 bottles
If
of bleach, please.
No, not that. The actual celebration. If
That
he
is
scored
the
at Old
actual
Trafford, would you do it?
No.
Yeah, exactly. And you get that Mickey
I'll do
taken
this.
out of us.
J-Lings.
You J-Lings it instead.
Oops.
Dropped everything. Right, let's move on. No, actually, we need to give a rating for
Nice.
Arsenal so far.
J-Lings.
D.
You want to give Arsenal the D?
Obviously.
Adam?
You
A.
think you are Jed Spence?
A.
Take them
Why
off.
A? Don't just make it
A.
up.
Is A one of the options?
Engage.
C.
Yeah, I'm going to go C as well. We'll come back to it at the end. Aston Villa, they've not really done anything. We can move on from them. Bournemouth.
I'll have you know they signed Yasin Ozcan from Kasim Pasa for £5.9 million, which is roughly about €7 million. He plays at centre back, I believe.
Okay.
Left-footed, right-footed,
One of the two,
good on the ball.
or not.
Right. Let me have a go on a minute. No, we're not doing that.
Do you like Kasim Pasa then as a club? They
They wear blue shirts.
I'm going to give Aston Villa a D so
I've
far.
probably
They've
got
done
everything wrong. there.
Aston Villa, by the way, are absolutely fucked financially. That's one
How
thing
are they
to worth
fucked?
knowing.
They just got 70 million for Gerrard.
I would have thought they just gave them £7 million.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because they spent about 250 million in the last 2 years.
Well,
Mate,
that's-
Kasim Pasa wear blue.
Do they?
That's silly, that.
Fuck off.
Is
If
Oz
I've got everything right,
trying to centre back?
oh mate, please be a centre back.
Go and work it out.
He's a fucking centre back.
Hey, look at that! Wow.
You see all these people online
Romano.
pretending to know what's going on. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
just faking it. Romano's just guessed every tweet he's ever done.
Guessing.
Guessing. I'm going to give them a D because I think it's just they've not done anything yet. F.
You want to give Villa the D?
I'm going to give them a big F. Jay?
What's happening? Who was it who went on loan today with Marcus Rashford? Was it
Asensio.
What's happening with him?
I think he's going back.
So they've lost Rashford and Asensio then.
Yeah.
Who did
'Cause he's on big
bits for
wages,
him last
Asensio.
season, didn't they? So yeah, I don't think they've
I
had.
say bits.
Yeah, they both got goals and assists. I know they didn't set the world alight, but it was all.
Yeah, they were good.
They did, you know what I mean, something for him, and they left.
But they've got
So
Felipe
it's not an
Coutinho
improvement, is
coming
it?
back on loan.
Oh mate, he can fuck off. He ruined football, him.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like if it wasn't for him,
All the things wrong with football.
that's transfer. Fucking ruined football.
Right, let's move on to Bournemouth then. Dean Howson out to Real Madrid.
He's done well, hasn't
That's their only big sign.
His
really.
dad though, Steve's a dick.
Dean Howson is Steve Howson's son.
Yeah.
I hope so. He looks like a decent player. They've got 50 million quid, so they're going to have some spending power, but that's all they've done so far. I'd give him a C, because that's a lot of money, that.
Yeah.
For someone that they bought this season for didn't they buy him for 20 million this
They
year?
always
You
do.
may have lost your best centre back, but guess what?
he? Yeah,
50 mils.
50 million. They've
What's his name? Michael. What's his name? B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan got 50 million in his pocket.
Fair play to him, but I fucking hate Bournemouth.
Can we see the rest of their summer?
That's all they've done.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, sorry.
We got Philip Billing back from loan, actually.
Yeah,
Mark Simons?
exactly.
Yeah,
Let's move on
lovely.
to Brentford then. Well, wait, did you give them a ranking, anyone?
They can have a
B for Bournemouth.
C minus.
You're just making it up at this point. Brentford, they got Michael Caode from Fiorentina.
Yeah.
That looks like one of those Irish names that is probably just going to be Kevin Kelleher. How do you pronounce his first name? Queefin.
Whoa. What
So
would
is
that
it
do?
is it
Be
Kevin?
racist right
Is
now?
it Kevin?
You're being racist.
I'm not being racist.
Yeah, you were.
Is it Kevin? Queefin. Queefin
Queefin.
Kelleher from Liverpool.
He played quite a few
You're going
games.
to stop being
didn't he?
racist. Apologise to Ireland.
I think that's a very good signing. I like him as a goalie.
Yeah, no, I do.
Player.
I think he's decent.
I think they've done all
Bayer
right.
Leverkusen signed Mark Flecken.
Yeah,
Is that real?
yeah. What do you mean? Is that real? It's right
See,
there.
it's what I mean, man. Football's shit. You know what? Yeah.
Why is that shit?
You know what I've realised.
Mark Flecken
Football
going to
is
Leverkusen
shit.
has realised. Why is
Like,
it?
I was watching the telly the other day, and I seen what's his name, Rafael Leao, and I just thought, you're shit.
Do you remember his birthday
Everyone
post?
speaks about him like he's a
Yeah.
dog, but football's fucked. You know that? Bayer Leverkusen went invincible the other week. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're buying Mark Flecken from Bournemouth. They're shit.
Brentford. Yeah.
Right.
Football is
Bayer Leverkusen went invincible the other week, which was like a year ago.
Football
And
shit.
they're buying Mark Flecken from Bournemouth.
It is a disgrace, isn't it? It is a
He
disgrace.
is mental, isn't it? Football's
No, yeah,
mental, bro.
Football is mental.
Brentford signed Fiorentina player. A Fiorentina. Someone played for Fiorentina in Florence
Yeah.
and went, you know what? I'll go
The
to
Premier
fucking
League's got the
Brentford.
dodo on it. The Premier League's taking over.
Football's fucked.
Like, it is the place to be.
What's his face? Won the league.
Who?
Philip Billing and fucking Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
It's
McTominay
shit.
was their best player.
It's fucking shit. Football stinks. Anthony's one of La Liga's best players. Shit. Scott McTominay's got fucking murals of him. Shit. Football's fucked, lads. Open your eyes. Smell the.
Nah, it's
What
Coffee.
players are there that you still think hold those original standards? Is there any? There's gotta be
Ronaldo
some,
and Messi.
but they're not anymore.
Football's fucked. Lamine Yamal's the greatest player in the world. 17 years old.
Yeah, and he got like 8 league goals this season.
Rafinha's up for Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
shows
that's
McTominay.
He was at Leeds.
That's crazy. He was.
Real
not
Madrid
even
just
too
signed a
good for
Bournemouth
Leeds.
centre back.
for 50 mil.
Football's broken, lads.
That's crazy.
Football is shit. Football's shit.
I'm going to give their transfer window so far a
Can't
C.
do that. A C for Brentford.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Let's move on to Brighton then.
Here's
Here
your
we
favourite
go.
team, Brighton.
Oh, aren't they so cute? The little money ball. Money ball this, money ball that.
How many players are they fucking signed?
They spent more money last summer than Man United have ever spent in a single summer. Money ball my arse. Tom Watson, 10 million from Sunderland. Du Young Yun from Dejan Hannah Citizen for $1 million. They'll probably sell him for fucking 300 million to Chelsea next year.
We sang a song like that about one man, didn't we? We do wow, we do wow.
Yeah.
Diego Coppola, 34 million from Olympiacos. That's getting done. Stefanos Tsimas, 22 million from Nuremberg.
They've already spent £70 million.
Yeah. They do it every summer and no one
We should go
notices.
get Evan Ferguson.
Should we?
God, he's been injured for 2 years.
Seriously, forget Gyökeres. Forget him. If you sent Evan Ferguson,
He was
Go
on
on.
loan at West Ham and didn't get a game.
if you sent Evan Ferguson
Yeah.
to Sporting Lisbon,
Yeah.
yeah.
he gets 70 goals.
Does he play? Does he get 70 minutes?
Yeah. Trust me, forget Gyökeres.
I love that. If you send Evan Ferguson to Sporting, he gets more goals in a season than he's got in his career.
What was your mate doing at Brighton and Coventry? Apart from
Smashing it, bro.
Stinking the gap out.
Absolutely smashed it at Coventry.
I would say
Hey.
that he got more goals at Coventry again than Ferguson's got in his whole career. In a year.
He scores 70 in Sporting.
They've also got Everton Ferguson back on loan. Buonanotte back on loan.
Nah, Ferguson. I do like Ferguson, but I think the jury's out.
From loan.
And the last thing we need is another young striker who's unproven, who's just had a pretty bang average season, if not a poor season.
He's
Brighton's,
Irish though. We don't win the league until we have an Irishman up
I'll
front.
give you that one.
Brighton's windows I always think are hard to judge because they're always buying players you don't really know. That's
Yeah.
their whole model. So
We
how-
should have just bought everyone they
how
did.
I know,
good
saved
is Du
ourselves the
Young Yun? How
100
good
million
is
we're going to spend
yeah.
in the summer buying Diego Coppola.
Yeah, exactly. 34 million though, that's a chunk of cheese.
That is
Great
like
name, that Diego.
that's
Coppola.
class,
yeah,
innit?
fantastic. Yeah. Francis Ford Coppola, of
Diego
course, springs
Maradona.
to mind. Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
It's a great name, Diego Coppola. I'll give you that. I'm going to give them I'll give them a B because they've been very active. But it's so hard to rate how how successful they're going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As it always is with Brighton.
I'll give him an
An A?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you just know all them players are going to be fucking mint.
Yeah. I tell you what.
Aren't they? Tom Watson's going to turn out to be the next fucking Lionel Messi.
Here's how mint it's going to be, right? And here's my little prediction. Those transfers are going to be so good, like all the other Brighton transfers, that they'll finish 10th again next season.
They will, you're right, but then they'll sell them all for £500 million.
So what?
And just keep going for the next 10
What
years.
do you win? Profit.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Lifting the profit trophy above their heads. Chelsea. They've got Liam Delap, 30 million.
Didn't want him anyway, shit.
Estevio.
He's being jackass.
Yeah. They've got Steve-O from Jackass, 28.7 from Palmeiras.
Yeah.
Dario Asugo.
Oh, he was on Pop Idol.
Pop Idol, God rest him.
And Kendry Paez from Independiente. And Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg for a combined, what would that be, 20 million for those two.
Billion.
They've spent somewhere in the region of 60, 80, somewhere in the 100 million mark already.
They've got 10 million for some fella
Barry Humphries.
Bashir Humphries.
Didn't he interview fucking Michael Jackson that time?
Dame Edna Everidge.
Yeah.
Barry Humphries, isn't it?
It's Bashir.
Oh, Martin Bashir. Yeah.
I fucking hate him, Marty.
Who? Martin Bashir is my little weasel. Lucas Bergstrom's been released.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Do you not look at this with Chelsea? About 100 players back from loan, as they always do.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I hate them. Honestly,
do you know what I mean? Do you remember when that transfer ban? Like, we can't buy anyone, even though they went out and bought Kovacic. And then it was like, fucking, we're just getting 60 players back from loan, half of whom are mint.
Embarrassing.
Who the fuck is Mike Penders? Sounds like an undercover police officer.
Mike Pence. They've got former Vice President Mike Pence back from loan. Chelsea, I think
some
Chelsea
of these are just money laundering.
Yeah, they're the biggest
they don't exist.
For ruining football.
Michaela Mudryk was money laundering.
Any
You know
club
that?
in England. What for who?
Because he just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's 100
12
million
career
pounds.
goals.
Never seen him in my life. Looks like something out of
Why
Small
is he banned,
Soldiers.
by the way?
What?
Why is he banned from
Wasn't he doing drugs and that?
Oh,
allegedly.
I feel sorry for him. Kepa's back from loan, but he's going to Arsenal.
I hate Chelsea.
Yeah, fucking Chelsea.
I hate them more than ever. This whole thing that they've got where they're literally just selling and buying players like they're fucking...
They spent $1.5 billion last summer.
It's awful.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it is awful.
And like they get rid of Abramovich, and then Todd Burley comes in like a knobhead, and he's just like
George's brother.
Yeah, George Burley, Craig Burley's uncle.
And they literally
he
just
fucking
spend more
buys
than ever.
everyone.
Yeah, and this whole thing of like, it's amazing because they sell 400 million worth of children every year. You're like, that. You sound like a warlord.
They've sold their women's team back to themselves as well.
Yeah, what you do is selling car parts.
Like, you know when someone goes, oh, here's 20 quid. Oh, no,
Yeah, it confuses you.
Someone did me like that when I was working at a coffee shop.
Really?
once. Yeah, it's the only time I've ever been done, and I knew I'd been done, but I felt bad accusing him of doing me. Because I don't want to be like, you just fucking stitched me up there. I know you.
What did he do? Give you 20
So it was
quid?
one of them where it was like, I can't remember exactly because if I did, I'd be rich.
Yeah.
But it was something like, he gave me a tenner, right?
Yeah.
Paid for his coffee. I gave him his change. And then he went, no, I gave you 20 quid.
Oh,
and at that point, I don't know I didn't want to be like, no, you didn't. I know you gave me a tenner.
We thought he'd done him with like...
I thought
it wasn't.
the 20. Oh no, actually,
He just went, actually, nah, mate, that was a 20 quid.
It hasn't ended yet.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Because then he went into the little spiel afterwards. Because then he went, oh right, well, I had this in my pocket, and I know one of them was this and one of them was a 20. This is when it started getting a bit fiddly. So it's like, right, so if it was then it was that, and then he was like giving me a tenner. He's like, if you give me the change for that, that'll make it back.
So
up
we ended
to
up with 40 quid.
So basically, he got like 25 quid out of me. I paid him 20 quid to buy a coffee off me, and I knew he was fucking doing me as it was happening. I was going, I've seen this on YouTube.
The Real
before.
Hustle.
Yeah, I've seen this on BBC Three. I'm a soft target. I knew I was. And he just left it. I was like,
just take it
I've
off.
been fucking swindled like fuck there.
You want a victim that's too polite to go, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the thief off.
Because also, do you know what happened is it got to the point where I'd lost track of what he was doing. So I didn't even know what to accuse him of. I just wanted to go, you're fucking me here, and I'm not sure to how much cash.
Yeah, I hate all that.
But anyway, he did me. And that's what Chelsea do with all their transfers. If you give us the 60 for him, we'll give you that. And then PSR just...
I remember my boss once when I used to work at the soccer dog when I worked in a function, and this woman said that she gave me a tenner, and she didn't. She gave me a $5, and I was arguing with her. Like I was like, "No, you can fuck off. You didn't." And was one of them jobs that I really cared about. And my boss gave it a change. She said, I want to speak to your
Went
manager.
over your head.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Fucking weasel.
You can't do that.
I was fucking raging about it. Yeah.
How we rank?
So then he nicked a $5 anyway.
Well, that shit.
If you just give him money away.
Yeah.
Fucking hell about
I didn't realise you.
I'll just go and do it. Yeah. I'll look after this cash for
What are we giving Chelsea's ranking then? I'll give them a B.
C.
A D.
Liverpool. Frimples. 29 million from Bayer Leverkusen.
Stop right there.
What?
Do you remember we were going to sign him?
Yeah.
Jose Frimples.
And everyone was like, ooh, you can't play in the back four. Ooh. Trade secrets. Ooh. You can't play in the back four. Ooh. You can't do this. Remember that? Do you remember these conversations?
I do.
And now he's going to play in the back four.
Oh, he's not a winger anymore. He's not
Now
a
he's a
fullback anymore.
fullback
He's a
all of a
winger.
sudden.
Yeah. Now he's back to being a fullback again.
What?
40 million euros he spent on him. Then they got Joe Pesci in from Puskas FC. Never even heard of them. Then we've got the here we go. This is the big boy. Florian Wirtz, 130 million.
Also,
smackaroonies.
130
pounds.
I was telling you this earlier. Football is shit. 130 million for this fella.
Yeah.
Who?
Pardon?
Who?
Wirtz.
What's he done to deserve this?
Went undefeated for a full season the other week.
130 million.
Yeah. He is, I think, behind Bruno Fernandes, is the highest output number 10 in the world.
In Germany.
last year.
130 million.
I know. He's 22 years old. So
And it's all it's all fine. If United were buying him for 130 million, it'd be think pieces on how shit he is.
Paul Pogba was already on everyone's dartboard for 90 million. And
he'd won the World Cup and 4 league titles.
And Paul Pogba was arguably the best midfielder in the world, or certainly one of the most talented. And I guess he is as well. I guess you put him in that same ballpark that in terms of reputation that Pogba had.
I just can't. 100.
It's so much money. It depends.
Since when? I feel like they could have gone. He's 60. Sweet.
Yeah, but I think he's seen as the thing that's going to give Leverkusen their next 5 years. Because they had a fantastic team 25 years ago. Then they've been in the wilderness for so long, and they've had this peak. They've lost their manager. They've lost Frimpong. They're about to lose their star guy. I can see why, from Leverkusen's perspective, they need this to fund their next 5 years.
They've given 160 million to buy a Leverkusen this summer for 2 players.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if United had done?
They can afford to do it though, because they had a season off, didn't they, last season? I know they bought Chiesa, was it?
Yeah.
And was that it?
I mean, yeah, if you even count him as a transfer.
You know, if those two went Bayern Munich get the 2 of them for 80 mil. All in.
All in.
All in.
Cash in hand. All in. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean, though?
Sort of swindle.
Somehow, is 130 million.
It's mad.
It's 300 grand a week.
Depending exactly where that fee lands in the end, it's probably going to be the 3rd most expensive transfer of all time. Behind.
This is what you got.
For who?
Well,
What has he done?
But to be fair, who was Mbappe when PSG signed him? I think what we need to do, our job as United fans, is to put fucking so much pressure on this guy. He needs to be the best midfielder in the league next season. He needs to be one of the best players in the world immediately. Because when we ever sign anyone for fucking 60 million or above, it's he's not this, he's not that, he should be this. For 130 million, genuinely, you have to be the best midfielder in the Premier League next season, bar none. And if he isn't, then we need to start putting the pressure on. Because
is he any good?
How many? He is good. My word
Is he?
No, he is.
130 million, Joe.
I don't think he's worth that, but he is good.
Who is he?
Florian Wirtz. He is very good, and he's one of those players that's got that. This could go either way with him. He's got that kind
Shirky
of.
just went for 30 million.
Pardon?
Shirky just went for 30 million.
Yeah.
130 million. I don't know what's going on.
He's got the sort of intangibles.
Football's
like
broken, you know. Yeah, that's what it is. People always got aura. All that bollocks. It's just weirdos, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just say you fancy him, man. It's all right.
Liverpool's outs. Alexander-Arnold has gone to Real Madrid, should I say, as he's now known, Trent.
They call me Arnie.
It was a free transfer, but they ended up paying 10 million euros to get him 3 weeks early.
You're right, Macca, football is shit.
Which adds up, by the way.
Paying 10 million just so he can play in the Club World Cup.
Do you know people say, like, oh, he only had 1 year left on his deal and they paid this? If you'd have extrapolated that out over a 1 year period for, like, oh, he's in the last year of his contract, that would be 120 million euros they paid for Trent. They paid 10 million euros for 1 month. He had 1 month left on his contract, and they paid 10 million for him. That is insane.
Million, we need to get in that Club World Cup, you know.
That's insane. Then they got rid of Keller, obviously, as we said before. He's gone to Brentford for 12.5 million. So they've got about 20 million back, and they've spent about 150 million so far.
130 million?
Yeah. 160, should I say. What do you rank that, Adam? Because I saw your mate Rory, by the way, say that they've won the window already. Because no one will sign a better player this summer.
I promise
than
you, Rory's never seen Florian. He doesn't know what Florian Wirtz looks like. He does
I love that. That's class.
He was presented.
They've won the window already. You don't even know. He's never even seen him play. I can buy it.
We were all just pretending he's the bollocks.
That's what I don't know. I've heard a lot about
The
him.
other day, Cherky was the fucking next man on the moon.
Yeah. I love it when they do that. Do you know when at the end of each year, the best player in the world, they just blast him into space?
This is the last thing we wanted to happen. I mean,
do you know what? Because they are doing massive transfers.
I do like Frimpong. I'm not messing about. I've seen Frimpong. He's a good player, isn't he? Like,
I worry about him as well.
They've got rid of Trent and got him in. Sorry, they've got rid of Alexander Arnold and got him in. Fucking
this
makes sense.
This Wirtz brother's going to get like 5 goals next year. And everyone's going to be speaking.
They get away with it though. You know what? Mo Salah will score 40 goals, carry the fucking team, so everyone else doesn't have to turn up. And everyone will be like, this is the best signing they've ever made. And he's like,
Thiago Alcantara, he played once every fucking blue moon.
Yeah.
And they spoke about him like he was fucking...
do it all the time.
I've seen more replays of that goal where he fucking feathered it across the pitch. Like, he played about 25 games for Liverpool. And yeah, it's talked about like he was this genius that fucking... They didn't win anything when he was there.
No.
Like, I just, honestly, they won the league, got him in, didn't win anything. And then he left and they won the league again. I just think, like you said, they're replacing, or not necessarily replacing, but they bought Szoboszlai in last summer for 70 million quid.
I think he's a good signing, to be fair, though.
I do, but now they're bringing someone else in the same position for 130. It is mad. But you have to give him at least a B.
They've done the right thing,
because
though.
they're going mental.
Strengthened while you're strong.
Yeah.
They've won a title and they've gone big. That's kind of the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I'll give him a B.
Yeah, I'll give him a B as well. A B minus. Because I do worry that they're not going to live up to the price. And I think Frimpong's physicality might be an issue defensively. Yeah. But they got around it.
The big question with Liverpool
Alexander
is when
Arnold,
fucking Van Dijk and Salah going to drop off a cliff.
Yeah.
That's what we're all waiting for.
What do you think, window so far?
Everyone's going to be saying it's fucking A, innit? Because they got some fella for 130 million quid.
We've both said B.
B minus for me.
No,
I said B actually, not B minus. Sorry, you're right.
It's either going to be a disaster or it's going to be an A or an F.
Pick one.
F.
Yeah.
Go on, lad. Good lad. Why not?
Man City then. Let's move on to
here
these
we go. When the fuck are these charges coming in? That's the first question.
Well, tell you what.
They're out here buying everyone.
It's ridiculous. So let's go through this then. They've got Ryan Aït-Nouri from Wolves, who I know Adam McKola can't even pretend he don't like him because he's been speaking positively about him for about 2 years.
Shit. Who wants a player from Wolves? They're fucking shite.
You've liked him for 2 years, Adam.
Rubbish.
Let me go through the rest of these then. Ryan Cherky.
What's he ever done? Who's he ever scored against?
Yeah, exactly. 34 million. Marcus Bettinelli is just a goalkeeper from Chelsea. Tijani Reinders, 46.6 million from AC Milan.
Rips off there.
And Sevilla Naipan from Rosenborg. That's got, here we go, today, 12.5 million.
Who are these people?
They've also lost Kevin De Bruyne, Jan Couto for £21 million to Borussia Dortmund, by the way, which is a mad feat for someone that no one's ever heard of.
They do this all the time, though, don't
Jacob
they?
Wright's gone.
Cherky's going to be fat and down Wimmy Road in the shisha places before you know it. Trust me. He's not ready for a Pep Guardiola regime.
You think he's the new Grealish, but in a different way?
Yeah.
Like he won't. He's too much of a free spirit.
He'll be having a kebab and sheesh. Trust me, he don't
Trust me,
running around all day, man.
Ryan Aït-Nouri, you like him?
It's all right. Bit shit.
You've always liked him.
£30 million.
What did you think he was going to cost? 10.
Nah, to be fair, if we wanted him, we'd have charged us 50.
Yeah.
Who else?
They got Reinders from AC Milan, who's
he's good, isn't he?
Considered their best player in Milan.
50 million.
And I think it's a bit of a bargain. Well, it could be a bit of a bargain, that bit of a Bruno Fernandes signing. We'll see though.
How have they got £21 million for some fucking... Who's that? 21.
It's the same old, though, isn't it? It's like when you've got a team that's doing well, you sell players for decent money. United used to do it, and now we don't because we're fucking shite.
21 million.
21 million for Jan Couto is a lot.
Who is he?
Yeah.
They do it all the time, though, don't they?
Yeah,
they get big money for players that you've barely heard of. Like, it's always 20 million, 30 million. Like, what? Because
Something's going down there, you know.
Probably is.
Does this? I don't think
This is the end of the...
I hope
Pep
so.
Guardiola's don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah. I think they've got a lot to do in the window, and I think they're making up for a bad window last summer.
Wait, Kyle Walker's going back.
He's done, though. He's not in the World Cup squad, is he? World Cup.
No, it's Jack Grealish.
That's
£100
what I
million
mean.
man's not in the squad.
Yeah.
No.
Not a word said about
He's
it.
literally just been drunk for 2 years, Jack Grealish.
He's proper Dwight Yorkshire.
It's
Anyway.
mad.
He's gone like,
He won the treble and
retire
just
now.
fucked everything off
Can't
for
be
2
arsed.
years. And it cost £100 million. I would rate that window quite highly, to be honest. I think Aït-Nouri is a very good
it's an A,
signing.
that one.
I think Cherky will
Not
see.
really broke the bank for anyone. As well.
No. And also that adds to a couple of players they've signed in the summer, in the winter as well. This year, 2025, they've spent about over 300 million quid. They've got Marmouche, obviously. They've got
Fucking
the
joke.
centre back. They've got a few others. I'm going to give that an A because I do think that's a very good window.
I-
Aït-Nouri and Reinders in particular, I think could be very good for them.
I'll give it a B.
B.
They've lost the best player.
De Bruyne. Yeah.
I still
Now,
think
Jan
he's-
Couto.
I still think he's got something in the tank, De Bruyne. I've
Yeah.
seen him. He's
He's
looked
going to
decent.
Napoli, innit? So we'll
Yeah.
see how he gets on there. On to Newcastle then. Actually, did you give it a letter?
Go on.
It's amazing.
A. Newcastle, they've got in Antonio Cordero for free, and Lloyd Kelly's gone to Juventus for 15 mil. That's another one. How have they done that? Lloyd Kelly.
Juventus signing fucking Lloyd Kellys. The once great Juventus signing Lloyd Kellys off Newcastle.
The game's gone on it, kid.
Same kit. Maybe that helps.
The game's fucked.
That is mad, isn't it? Lloyd Kellys are going to Juve these days. Juve, innit? What's happened?
I know. The Titan, the old lady. Sad to see.
The old
That's a shit window, though, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, awful for them, yeah.
Wow.
But I think they're back
Mate, they got 15 million for Lloyd Kelly. You couldn't pick him out in a lineup.
Aren't they all fucking moaning, though, that they can't spend any money? Because PSR and all that.
Because they don't make any.
They're not allowed to
Yeah,
fucking
our
just
sugar daddy's giving us loads of free money now.
Yeah.
He's complaining because we can't spend it and everyone wants
fucking
it.
cry me a
Fuck
river.
off.
Yeah.
You fucking cretin.
And the thing is, I do understand from some perspectives about like
fuck them,
not being
man.
able to spend your money, but also the PSR stuff and this. Oh, the big six are trying to hold everyone down, but they have got £1 trillion of money that they can access.
Remember when they were
That
all
is
wearing
not
tea
fair
towels on
either.
their head singing about Cristiano
We're
Ronaldo
going to have
cleaning boots?
Cristiano Ronaldo cleaning our boots. We got Lionel Messi selling the pies. Do you remember that? Got Kylian
Crazy, man.
Mbappe working in the car park and that. It was just, we're going to the richest club in world. Didn't even say in the world because it didn't fit. Richest club in world.
Good world.
So yeah, they've got Kylian Mbappe.
Embarrassing
We've
statement.
got
That was
Lloyd
terrible.
Kelly
That was
going
terrible.
to Juve. We've signed Antonio Cordero on a free from Malaga. Not quite the same ring to it, is it? Jamal Lewis has been released of his contract. We're the sort of FFP tangled club in world. D. Nottingham Forest. They've signed Igor Jesus. What?
Also-
Is that one person?
Deals in progress, by the way.
Shit.
Deal's
What?
not even done. We just got it here.
So what is that? Free
Dude,
Igor, Jesus, Jer and Cabano? Right, okay, that makes
So they're
sense.
signing three players from
Yeah.
Botafogo.
Yeah.
That stinks of, we wanted this guy, but you have to sign
One's
these
got
two.
gold fractured
Yeah.
and some...
So they've got Jesus, Jer, and Quibano, all from Botafogo. On the way out, they've got Panzo and Harry Toffolo.
Harry Toffolo's been on Love Island. That's not a real person, is it?
Yeah, he's on Love
Harry
Island.
Toffolo. Yeah.
I mean, that transfer window that I'm seeing there is I hate just seeing all of it.
Kia Drabshin's involved somewhere.
It's so-
right?
yeah, it sticks to third party ownership, doesn't it?
No way should you ever be
You know
signing
Jared and Cabano are going to turn up
Yeah.
at the City Ground and the manager's going to be like, who the fuck are you?
three players from the same
Yeah.
Brazilian team.
I want
of
to go
them's got-
Jesus.
The other two
Yeah.
stinking.
terrible.
that's dodgy as fuck.
Two of them might not even exist.
I think they've had the best summer.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I'm going to go D. I think it's rubbish.
We got.
I'll go C. I'll go C actually because I don't know anything about Igor Jesus.
Cleaning the loo.
We got
they could be fucking mint.
Quibano. Deals in progress. Right, Tottenham's. The Hotspurs. They spent 10 million quid on Thomas Frank.
Where's he play?
Bench. Kevin Danso. They already had him, but they've made that deal permanent. And Luka Vuskovic from Westerlo.
Westerlo are demanding 9.3 million for their players now. Fucking game's gone.
You just want.
They've got 11 million for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah. Reguilon's going. Fraser Forster's gone.
That doesn't surprise me, you know.
Alfie Whiteman has been released.
Oh.
That sounds like some sort of MI6 protocol, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Alfie Whiteman has been released.
Alfie Whiteman.
And then they've got Brian Gill coming back from loan, and Alfie Devine from Westerlo.
What the fuck is all
Alfie
this?
Devine's defo been on Love Island as well.
Yeah.
Harry
What is this
Toffolo and
Westerlo?
Westerlo shit going on here.
Who are these?
So we're giving him one and we're taking one.
Is that like a feeder club for Tottenham that we don't know about? It's got to be on it.
So hold on. They loaned Alfie Devine to Westerlo last year.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Right, fine. That's a shit window.
Yeah.
Thomas Frank's
Frank.
a good coach.
Yeah, but other than that, like the actual players.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a D.
And look, let's not forget Tottenham. I know they beat us in the final like that, but they're fucking shit.
Yeah, they were terrible last season.
Yo, Thomas Frank's big improvement for them.
Yeah. But they need to give him 5 years. Then.
Yeah, and also they need to give him some better players than what they've got.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to give that a DJ.
DJ.
I'll give that a B just because of the improvement in manager.
Okay, I'll go between you two. I'll go C.
Right. Now we've got to say who's had the best window so far. I think it's between United, City, and Liverpool. I think they're the only
You
contenders.
really think United?
I think we're up there. If we sign Mbeumo,
It's because of the fact that with United we've only done one deal, so I'd probably give it City.
but technically, Liverpool haven't done the Wirtz deal either. I know you said City anyway, but
yeah.
Lads,
Go on.
What?
I know it's all fun and games and that, but let's stop this rating shite at the transfer window.
Okay, let's stop that.
'Cause listen, we do this all the time,
Yeah.
and we always end up crying.
Are you scared
later.
of the backlash, Adam?
A year later down the
become
line,
jaded?
oh, fucking his shit as well.
I'm quite curious that you suggested that at the end of this video.
Yeah, because I didn't want to derail the whole video.
All right, I thought you could
Alright.
have done something else.
Yeah.
Right,
What?
so not doing it again.
So that was an option for me at the start of the video.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's not what he said.
Since when was it fucking? It's not just up to him. It's a democracy.
Yeah, but basically, let's stop all this
Alright.
stuff.
But with that being
Mateus
said,
Cunha.
who's had the best window?
No, listen. Mateus Cunha, you get no ranking. How about that? Brian Mbeumo, 0. You don't get ranked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make me love you.
All right.
Innit? Why do we always get excited about players that ain't done nothing for us?
Because I think that's part of the beauty of life, isn't
Nah,
it?
we gotta fuck that off.
What? The beauty of life?
Yeah,
Optimism and potential is all we're here for, Adam. That's all life is.
But I can't do it anymore.
What, life?
Wait till Cunha scores that first goal.
I think City have had the best window, and then United, then
you'll
Liverpool.
be
That's how I'm going to say it. What do you think?
But then
yeah,
City are starting here, Liverpool starting here, but we're down here.
No, I know, but I'm factoring in where we currently
So
are.
then
That's why I
even
think
now we're
United's
like
been so
here.
good.
Yeah.
But it's
We're
not
still
about
only-
who's going to get the most points. It's about who's
And Brighton have
improved.
had this much improvement. They're still ahead of us.
Yeah, but it's not about where you're going to
We've
finish.
still got Rasmus Højlund, and we've still got Andre Onana.
Yeah.
Get rid of them too, man. Seriously. All this talk today about Rashford, Sancho. We know them clowns are leaving. We know Anthony's off. We know it. Højlund, sorry, brother, you got to go. Onana, you've got to go.
This is the thing though with that. You've got to bring someone else in on you. Because you can't just rely on Bayern Dare and fucking Cheeto.
But you know what it is, yeah? If we go, because I actually think Højlund's going to leave and do all right for some like Juventus or whatever.
Yeah.
They're signing fucking Lloyd Kelly and everything.
If he can get in ahead of Lloyd Kelly,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah.
But like, just because he might do okay for someone else, or there might be a little bit of something there, it doesn't mean we got to keep hold of them. We've seen it; it's not working. Get him gone. Seriously. And if we wait another year because we're being too nice and we're like, oh, but he might be good, he might not be good, then his value is going to drop even lower. Right now, some of these people still think he's worth 30 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With add-ons, maybe 40. You get not all your money back, but you get a decent chunk of it back. for amortization and all that, you're probably getting your whole thing back. Like, we got to stop hoping and praying that one of these players is going to prove us wrong and just fucking use our gut and go, you know what? Time's time.
They need to get the finger out and if they're going to do that. And
Andre Onana. Remember that whole thing when Murata came in?
Signings lined up.
At City, he gave everyone 2 years.
Yeah.
If that's the case, Onana's had his 2 years. Rasmus Højlund's had his 2 years. What's your verdict?
Yeah, not good enough either.
See you later. And it's not, those are just 2 examples, but when we were watching the final, man, my head just went, you know, just with everyone. I was just like, fuck these lot, man. Just get rid of them. Stop.
You need that. You need like
nice.
Not necessarily, but we need big decisions, don't we?
Yeah.
We know that. Little tweaks ain't gonna fucking fix the problems at Manchester United.
You know Darwin Núñez,
Yeah.
he's twice the player Rasmus Højlund is, you know. And if Darwin Núñez was at United, we'd be going, it's so. And Liverpool are just gonna go, you know what? Fuck this. And he's better than what we've got.
Yeah.
I'd rather Darwin Núñez than Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah.
But like, we look at one and go, oh, he's a fucking laughing stock. And we look at the other one kind of go, oh, but is there something there? Come on, man. It's got to get rid, man.
I want to look at the most expensive transfers ever because Liverpool are about to put their new player 3rd on this list.
Right.
Here's the top 10 most expensive transfers of all time, and I want to look at how many of these have actually been successes.
Wait a minute. Can I just say?
Well, let's go through them one by one.
We're not there.
No, we're not on it. Number 1 is Neymar, 222 million euros to PSG.
Worth it.
Number 2, Mbappe, 180 million to PSG. Coutinho is 3rd to Barca for 135. Ousmane Dembele to Barca, 135. This is all euros. João Felix to Atletico Madrid, 127. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is 6th with 120. Eden Hazard, essentially the same fee to Real Madrid, in 7th. Griezmann to Barca, 120 as well. Jack Grealish to Man City in euros, 117 million. And then 10th is Cristiano Ronaldo to Juventus for 117 million euros. How many of them have been successes? I think it's 2.5. For me.
So would you include Ronaldo as a success in that?
Yes. He's one that I...
Because for the price they paid for him, I think he was a success. He won the league a few times and stuff.
And he scored 100 goals in 100 games. He didn't get
But did he
the
do
Champions
what,
League.
like,
But
Jack Grealish was arguably a success in their treble-winning season, but now you look back on it and go, he's not.
They'd pay that.
Griezmann was a...
City would pay that again for Jack Grealish because they won the Champions League. That was what they wanted, and he helped them do it.
yeah, but I don't think... I know obviously you just would put that season in the locker and say, don't change anything about it. We can't risk changing anything.
Yeah.
I get that. So they probably would pay it again. But I think they could have got that same performance out of a player for 30 million quid. I
Maybe.
think he was quite good for him. And yes, you would never touch it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I don't think that was a signing that was successful. One season where he wasn't the main guy. It wasn't like when Haaland was scoring 50 goals. Jack Grealish was quite good that season and has been awful ever since.
I think he was instrumental in them going through in the Champions League.
That's the thing that I think.
You'd go Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar probably, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would go Ronaldo, Mbappe, and Neymar-ish as the three that are
injuries scuppered him a lot.
Yeah, but I think PSG needed Neymar to become the brand, to become the club they are today.
You're right on that front. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's not.
Also, Mbappe for PSG isn't. It's not worth 180 million, but
that elevated PSG.
he did
though,
what?
didn't it?
Yeah.
Like
They needed
Mbappe and
to
Neymar
become
Like-
a famous world-renowned team. They were even with Zlatan.
There's a reason
they
you
weren't
see
quite there
loads
yet.
of kids, including some of my own, wearing PSG tops.
Yeah.
Like they became like a glamorous club that everyone liked
But
because of players like that.
In terms of utter disasters, Coutinho to Barca, horrendous. Dembele to Barca,
I think that might be
horrendous.
the worst transfer in history.
Yeah.
Because
It's up
he
there.
scored 2 against them in the Champions League when he was on loan to Bayern Munich
They had to pay their Champions League winning clause to Liverpool because he won it for Bayern Munich.
and knocked them out en route. Fucking
They
hell.
had to give
Felix-
25 million for that.
Like that couldn't have gone any worse.
João Felix to Atletico Madrid, utter disaster.
Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea, fine.
He's done all right this
been
season,
better
hasn't he?
this season, but not
massively
anywhere near
overpaid for him.
120.
Massively.
Hazard to Madrid, for me, is the biggest disaster on there.
I think that's the funniest one.
He
'cause
had
it looked like he was
almost
fucking
zero.
piled on the way when he got
Yeah,
there.
he had almost 0 good games for them, and
Yeah.
he was in the last year of his.
You know the
contract
worst
when they
player
spent
on
that
this list? João Felix.
Yeah,
Like-
potentially.
Who the fuck? What the fuck
In terms of outright
That's mental
quality,
as well.
And every time
127
he
million.
moves to a club, it's like, why you? I could have told you it wasn't going to work there.
It don't work anywhere
Like,
from, does it?
I think the idea of João Felix is better than him.
Yeah. Because on paper, he's got a bit of everything.
You know, if I went to you, do you want João Felix? Everyone would go, yeah, I'll have João Felix. João Felix is a good player. And then
We had that, didn't we? We linked
Is
with him
he?
a few years ago
No, he's not.
when people were saying, yeah, get him when he went to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like,
I
he's
was
talking
probably
United,
one of
yeah,
them.
saying,
Yeah.
you know, we get him on loan, why not? 'Cause he's not a bad footballer, is he? Let's be honest.
Isn't it mad though that
It's not worth anywhere
the
near
biggest
127
transfers
million
of all
euros.
time have just not really been worth it on the whole?
Enzo Fernandez, stinky one.
Yeah.
Wasn't he at Benfica for 6 months or something?
Something like that, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
fucking absolutely smashed his transfer value.
That World Cup carried
World
a lot
Cup,
of weight
did it?
in it.
Yeah, it did.
Stinks.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's
So
weird
anyway,
as well. It's what you wanted from them, innit? Like, Ronnie scored loads of goals at Juve. They probably thought he was going to get them over the line in the Champions League. They probably thought.
We've not spent 100 million, have we?
Nope. Once Liverpool signed this deal, we're the only one of the big six, I think, that haven't. Well, Tottenham haven't, but of the sort of the proper big boys. Chelsea have multiple times. City have. Liverpool will have.
Arsenal
Arsenal with Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't. Look, we've never gone above 90.
We don't have 100 million to rub
Yeah,
together.
That's true. Right, there you go. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks, Adam. Nice to see you, as always.
Thanks.
Going to be on my
Joe.
channel a bit more often, aren't you?
Yeah.
See you next week.
Yep.
Jay,
Yep.
as
Yeah.
always, lovely stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Well
for
done,
joining
Joe,
us
as
at home.
well. Excellent
Thanks, Joe.
presenting skills,
Joe.
as always.
Joe, thanks.
Thank you. This has been Off the Bar. We'll see you in a bit.